as possible.
Wow. Okay. And scaling up to where you're at now, I mean, what are your numbers roughly looking like deal wise?
Yeah, we 3 to 5 deals a month. I don't have a big wholesaling operation. I got 2 acquisition VAs, and I got 7 other VAs that help me run my real estate business. Right? I'm not the guy who's gonna tell you I do $2-3 million a year. That's not my thing. I want to create a business that is not involved with my day-to-day involvement. And if I can do that, I'm happy. I'm good.
Wow. I mean, I was hearing some of you talking on some like other types of like podcasts on, and it's very similar where I'm at. I mean, how many hours a week do you think you're working in the actual wholesaling business? So I know you got YouTube channels and everything else like that, but I mean,
Actually, wholesaling business, 5 hours. I can't remember the last time I did a 10-hour shift.
wow, wow, that's impressive. That's crazy. And then, what is the majority of your day looking like then? If you're not actually in the trenches talking to sellers, doing all the dispo, where's that 5 hours being spent?
Most of that 5 hours just me on Skype, texting and talking to my employees and directing them and giving them good advice and how to continue to push the operation.
Okay, wow. And what would you say? Because you got a VA doing everything here. What's the most important role in the whole system um, for your operations right now?
I think all the roles are important. I just think that you just got to understand how to prioritize them,
Mm,
right? So when you start to neglect one part of your business, the rest of your business become weak and vulnerable. So one of the things that you got to do is you just got to have a bird's eye view of what you're trying to do. You just got to have long-term and short-term goals and making sure them goals align to what your ultimate vision is for your business.
okay. And so, what is the majority of your marketing looking like now?
Texting. We do a shit ton of texting,
Wow.
cold calling. I never done direct mail before, except for like on follow-ups, but never at a cold perspective, like trying to get people to call me. But just a lot of texting. Every day we send out probably between 3 to 7,000 text messages a day.
Wow. Wow. And who are you using for your texting?
Honestly, bro, I'm a fair guy. I use everybody. I use the smarter
Yeah.
contact. We just started using REI Reply. We like that. It's a little complicated work, but we'll get through it. And we're using REI Real.
Okay. And overall, I'm probably going to ask this question in the comments, so I'm just asking you: is there any changes that you think are going to happen with the Trace Act when it comes to your SMS and your cold calling?
Right now we're just rocking what we got.
Yeah.
If something happens, if things change, we adjust accordingly. But right now, I'm not the type of person. I don't like to speculate. I like to have that tunnel vision, keep doing what I'm doing, and keep pushing. One of the things I suggest to everybody is to create hire a lawyer to create an LLC, and whatever your main LLC you operate under, don't have your name on no paperwork.
That's gems right there. Like, make sure you write that down. So that's absolutely huge. So SMS is primary right now. One thing I got to ask about SMS is, how are you utilizing the VA on there? So like, you get the message, you send them out, and then I'm assuming your VA is replying to the text. When do you know when to hand that off to the acquisitions person to do their job?
So we got a system, right? We
Okay.
got what we call warm and hot, and lukewarm leads, right? So once the leads get to about a warmish, we'll put that inside our Podio. A lot of people, they just put everything in Podio, and it confuses them. So we only put what we know for a fact that we can possibly close, or the person listening to an offer, or we check PropStream. PropStream got a new filter where you see that you can look up a person's address and see that they have multiple properties.
Yep.
And if we see that they got 5 or 6 properties, even though they say just give me an offer, we'll put them over the podium and make that notation, because we know for a fact that there's other properties we can push for and ask about.
Okay. And what are the most important KPIs you're looking for on your marketing when it comes to your VAs?
Most important, all of them to me is important, but the most important KPIs is I say the number of calls and texts made, the contact rate, and then the number of leads generated from that. That's the most 3 important ones, I think.
Okay. And when it comes to the actual SMS side also, is it just the VA sifting through the text and then giving it to an acquisitions person? What are the compartmentalized roles when it comes to marketing through Dispo?
Yeah, so our marketing team is set up very simple. We have a lead manager, we have SMS managers, we have SMS associates, we have cold callers. and our lead manager manages everybody. So we have a 4-touch sequence where we hit the list, we text them, we call them, we RVM them, whatever we got to do, and then we do it again. And so we try our best to stay consistent. We know for a fact it takes between 8 to 15 touches to get the average person on the phone. So we like to really be aggressive with our marketing.
Wow. Okay. And are you using Podio?
Yeah, I have my customer on build CRM. It's called REI Levo. And that came by accident. That wasn't done on purpose. What happened was I couldn't find a CRM that fit me as I started to grow my business. And then I just found me a developer, and we've been working for the last 2.5 years together.
Wow. Wow. Okay. And probably one of the most important parts about VAs that I really want to pick your brain on, because it seems like a crapshoot almost, like getting a VA, because sometimes one's good, one's bad. They got bad habits. Some are really good. I mean, what are your rules when it comes to hiring a VA? Obviously, you have a really good VA service that everyone should be using, but if someone's not using that, or they're just trying to hire a VA, what are some rules and tips that you can give to help save someone from a bad VA?
I mean, trust but verify. So if someone tells you something, verify it. Right? Look at their resume. I want a person who's been with a company for 10 years, and they say, you know what? This is my ideal situation. I decided to leave the company because it didn't serve me anymore, and I want to spend more time at home with my family. Perfect, because your loyalty shows that nothing else would got in the way of you not working for this particular company, but you want to spend time with your family. I can be a service to you by allowing you to work at home and overnight shifts, so you can have the whole entire day to your family. And to me, it's just making this a win-win situation for both me and the VA. And that's my number one tip I think I can give people.
Wow. Okay. And what are some tips when it comes to the cold calling wise? Like, is there a certain amount of accent that you're okay with or not? I mean, how do you deal with getting good cold callers?
Yeah, we got an entire recruitment team. Shout out to my recruitment team. It's about 8 VAs that work in that department.
Wow.
And we have accent trainers. So these people literally train. Before you even be able to come to my program as a VA, you will have to pass the accent screening. And if your accent is a little thick, or we don't think is appropriate for what we're trying to do in our clients, we won't allow you to come to training with us. And if it's workable, then we'll have coaching sessions to try to get you to turn that property to property. So it's just small things. It's a lot of nuances that it takes to really run a recruitment business. Like, everybody in love with starting a recruitment business now, but people don't see there's a lot of sweat and tears that go behind it.
Wow. Wow. And I mean, there's not, for your business and obviously your VA company, there must be like a lot of support for these VAs.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's definitely a lot of support. Yeah, we have what we call Ace Idol. That stands for my initials, Antoine Campbell Enterprise. So we had an Ace Idol competition where all of the VA showed up and started singing. There's some amazing talents in our VA pool. People that can play guitars, people that can sing, they can hold a pitch. It was amazing. We had a family movie nights virtually where we played The Grinch, and we invited all the children to come watch it. We figured out a way to make it feel like it was, we was all there at one place. And I really take pride in the virtual thing, man. I think the virtual thing is going to the next level. In the next 10 years, everything will practically be done even through the phone or virtually, where face-to-face interactions will probably be a thing of the past.
I agree. I mean, the future is definitely going more virtual here. So I think it's pretty cool that you're doing that. I mean, obviously there's a reason you're doing that. I don't think a lot of other wholesalers with VAs are having like movie nights or things like that. I mean, what is the main reason that you spend so much time developing VAs and doing stuff like accent screening and training? I mean, is there a method to your madness doing all that stuff with your VAs?
I mean, we're trying to build a company, bro. Like, there's no wholesaling business that I can name right now that went public, right? The goal is, like my mentor, Brandon Dawson, he works with Grant Cardone, says you want to build a company that you can eventually exit from. You can sell and walk away and ride off in the sunset with a lot of money.
Wow. Wow. Okay. And when it comes to the acquisitions part, because I think we talked about the cold calling, we talked about the SMS, getting an acquisitions person for a VA is probably a lot different skill set than someone sifting through SMS. So how are you finding a VA for acquisitions, and What are the main differences between that and just like a regular cold calling one?
It's a lot, man. It's a lot of hard and soft skills you must kind of look for. But the number one thing is they have to be a people person. They have to
Yeah.
be likable on the phone, right? They have to be understanding. They have to be a quick learner, and they have to be very sufficient in their work. They have to be able to work independently and not be able to ask a million questions and figure it out on their own, and be willing to work even outside of work hours to watch videos and study. and and that's a dime a dozen. So probably for every 300 VAs we recruit, maybe two of them fits that qualification, and that's why we don't offer them to the retail public. We have a couple of kinds of VIP that we did that for, but most of the VAs we always tell our clients to try to build them up some, and then when we feel like they're ready and you feel like they're ready, we can bring them to our 6 weeks acquisition training we offer.
Wow. Wow. Okay. And how is the process with that? So let's say they go in the Podio and they got the lead. What is their job from there? Like, are they closing it? Are they building the rapport, then doing like, what's the whole process looking like acquisitions wise?
Yeah, their job is simply to figure out the pain points and make an offer. That's it. So we use a very robust calculator we built, and as long as they can figure out the three lowest comps and three highest comps, and they know the price per square footage for the construction cost, I'm comfortable with letting them make an offer on my behalf.
Wow. Wow. Okay. And where are they getting their comps from?
Multiple places: Zillow, Posturing, Redfin. We always try to use multiple sources so we can be consistent in our offers.
Okay. And once you get it locked up, does it just go to a dispo?
Yeah, so we send it over to Dispo. And we already have a pre-criteria as far as what we're trying to lock up. So we put a list a certain way, and we just send it out to our list, and we call people, our VIP buyers, and try to get someone to bite on it. So that the biggest thing was figuring out how to work the ground logistics, and we got that figured out for the most part.
Wow. Okay. And how are you? Because I mean, your marketing is insanely great. But how are you doing the marketing for the cash buyers? How are you finding your good cash buyers?
Yeah, so we use Cash Buyer Data Feed, one of my favorite places to get cash buyers. And we're just looking for buyers who bought at least 5 properties in the last 12 months. Because we know for a fact 5 properties, that's a business. How many properties do it take for me to live and sustain? Well, if I made $50,000 each deal, hypothetically, and I did 5, that's $250,000. So I can sustain and make a business out of that. So we know 5 properties is the sweet spot that someone can make a living off of, and they're going to take it seriously. So they're not just a one hit wonder investor, and they're going to pay you what you asked for, and they're going to work with you, and they're going to be very cooperative in the process.
Okay. And how is the process on handing off the deal from acquisitions to dispo? And how are you taking pictures of the property? How are you bringing buyers through? Like, what's the process? Who's in charge of everything? How does that process look?
Yeah, so our acquisition people set the expectations up front to the sellers that, hey, listen, we work with a group of investors, right? And they all put their money together to buy houses. Sometimes the partner want the house more than we want it, and they pay us what we call a buyout fee. And you might see that on the HUD statement, but rest assured, that has nothing to do with what we agreed to today.
Hmm.
And then what happens is we set the expectations that if the seller, well, what is this fee? Remember what we talked 2 weeks ago, Mr. Seller, about the buyout fee? Well, this is what I was talking about. And then once we set the expectations and we send over the contract and it's going over to the dispo people, they know what they got to do. They do their job, they get the deal sold, and we operate under another company. I think that's what a lot of investors fail at. If you had two separate companies, an acquisition company and a disposition company, you can easily blame one or the other. So you
Hmm.
won't take all the blame. Example, uh, the seller call you, why the hell is my house on Craigslist? Oh, Mr. Seller, I'm not even sure about that. We already work out a deal where we already sold the house, and I guess this buyers is just looking to kind of like sell it as soon as he get it too. I'm not sure, but I can look into that for you. It's a different conversation because now you're showing, hey, I'm on your side. I'm just as concerned as you. Versus, oh, I'm sorry, I'm trying to sell a property and find a buyer. It's a whole different conversation.
That's Guys, that's impressive. What is the average assignment fee looking like for you for your virtual stuff?
It depends the market, but between I say 10 and 14,000. That, on average is about 12. We would like to make 12, but I'm a type of person of I like just value. You know what I mean? So if I make a $2,500 deal, I don't care because that goes to pay somebody in my business. So I'm a revenue driven person versus me looking at it from a transactional standpoint. You're never going to get nowhere. But if I can say, okay, give me 3 to 5 deals consistently a month, then I'm able to sleep better at night.
Wow. Okay. And what is your overhead looking like on a deal? Like a $12,000 deal, how much are you paying your marketing people for that? How much is the cost for the acquisitions, the dispo? What are those costs kind of looking like?
Yeah, so I'm a simple person. I don't try to overcomplicate this, right? So what it costs me to keep my doors open. So you have to do what we call a break-even analysis,
Yep.
right? So how much it costs to keep my business open for the next 12 months with VAs and my market and all that. Figure that number out, right? Let's say, for example, hypothetically, it's $6,000 a month. Or it's 6 grand a month, right? Then you do 6 grand times 12, and that's your break-even analysis. Now you just got to figure out what you need to make in order to break even. So I'm really big on how profitable am I and what my burn rate is a day. You know what I mean? So if I got 3 deals locked up or if I got 3 closing scheduled for the month and I know I'm gonna make 40, 50 grand and I know that my overall all-in budget is 10 grand, I'm okay with that.
Hmm. Okay. And are you paying your dispositions and your acquisitions people on commissions also?
So they all VAs. So the beautiful thing about it is I'm leveraging that dollar. We pay them per hour. We don't pay them in draws. We pay them a regular salary plus a bonus. So they get $50 per signed deal, plus $250 per closed contract.
Wow.
So
I
all
mean,
together, all in, I'm $1,000 in per deal when it comes to that cost, right? Obviously, you got to add in the labor cost and all that. But I know what my break even analysis is, so I'm good with that.
wow. I mean, you're giving $50 to that VA. It's kind of like with you and your granddad. They give him the 5 grand. It's like the guy on the other end's making a lot too. So
Exactly.
that's just fun.
But some months everything don't close on time, right? I got deals that's sitting on my books since 2018, short
Wow.
sales and all that. So my thing is, I tell my people, man, build a pipeline. Don't, because when you look at it transactional, you're gonna pull your hair out. Man, I worked on that deal so hard and they don't want to sell no more. I worked on that deal so hard and they owe the IRS 300,000. Things happen, so you just got to keep working on adding more prospects to your pipeline. That's all I can tell people.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Consider liking this video. It helps the YouTube algorithm so my videos can get shown to more people so I can help my mission on this channel to help you make over $100,000 in real estate wholesaling absolutely for free. If you're getting any value out of this whole channel or from the clip today, please consider subscribing to the channel. It means so much to me. Have a blessed day.